everybody, welcome to the channel for a new video. This time this is the conclusion video of the French tournament Interregio, which is the biggest 9th stage event in the year, so always an amazing event. Here we have, as usual, the result, my army list and so on. The result, unfortunately, we didn't manage to win it for another year. I think we won it 3 years in a row. So it would have been nice to win it again, but this time, despite being the only team with 5 wins, we didn't manage to be on top. This is also we had two effects of that, two effects to explain that. The first one is the effect of pairing. Basically, it depends a lot who you face when and the type of win that you are managing to do. So that's the first effect. And the second one is somebody was caught cheating with how you say that, crook dice, or yeah, cheating dice. And basically they were rolling more sixes than they're supposed to be, and he was excluded from the tournament. And what happened in the consequence of that was basically that all his previous opponent got 20-0 against him, which makes sense. The only problem is it happens during the round number 4, which meant that some of the team received some bonus. So basically they just faced opponent that they shouldn't have been facing. They should have been higher the table before. And basically that all of that combined made that we didn't play on the last game on table number 1, but we played on table number 2 against another Swiss team, Swiss 4, that ended up 6. And basically we had a lower chance of beating the people in front of us to try to get the win. So that's a bit what happened. The second factor was the fact that, as you can see, the team that won it, they won it due to the painting score. They got a very good 87. We expected more than 82 with the effort that we made. And as you can see, this +4 in difference to the second team basically made the difference, because if the second team would have made as many painting points as the first one, they would have won it. So yeah, close affair. Really happy to have won all around. We could have done slightly better, but I think overall we made a good job, I should say. And it's a bit unfortunate that we didn't play on table number 1 for the last one, which would have augment our chances of getting higher score, but at the same time I'm not sure it would have been enough, first of all. And yeah, I mean, we won it several times in a row. It's also nice that because there is a special trophy for this tournament, and it's also nice that this special trophy remains in France this year and doesn't go in Switzerland. Anyway, we have almost 40 teams, so I just put the top 20 here. Then my army list, you know it already. This is how it looks like on the table. I was a bit disappointed by the painting score I got, because I got the same score than last year. And basically last year, yeah, my presentation board was crap. It was horrendous. I invite you to take a look at the conclusion video from last year to have a look at it. It was horrible. I made it myself, and it was just a complete fail. And this year I ordered this one. I didn't do it myself. It was a consequence or learning from last year that I don't have the capabilities of doing such a beautiful presentation board. So I ordered it to one of my teammates in Switzerland, and he made this amazing job, and I think the army looks great on it. What I have the feeling is the fact that my army has been rated on the table and I think not on the presentation board, which is obviously, it could explain the fact that I got the same rating as last year. I felt I made some improvement. You have some, here I have one close-up, so you see a bit better the unit. I'm really happy about the way the Bastion looks like. I think the colors complement themselves really well between the blue and the red, yellow. So everything fits well together. Obviously some unit could have been better, but yeah, I expected slightly more. For the effort that I put in. Wasn't enough this year. Maybe next year I will try to achieve better. It's always, I think that's what I like about French Interregio, and I think a good amount of the players that are taking part, they are also taking part just for the painting score, because they love painting and they love to see beautiful army. And I think that's definitely the spirit of the French Interregio. So I think that's cool to keep the motivation for us to paint. But obviously I would have liked to get slightly better, to see the improvement made on the army. Maybe next year. That gives me more motivation to try to achieve something better. Like I do usually, I put a unit impact analysis in the presentation. Yeah, I got some very drawish matchup, we could say. I got some positive pairing, first of all. I got one negative matchup against Coco, which ended up as expected as a 7, and then I got some small positive and a big positive. I felt game number 1, I had in my hand a bigger win, I felt. I had some good opportunities with the tank, the shots and so on. On the right side, I was slightly lucky with Incarnate, but I feel all combined, I think I could have deserved slightly more in the center of the map. I think the Dragon was in huge danger of giving his points, and I took nothing from that due to the bad performance from the tank. So yeah, slightly disappointing with the store. I think I could have got more, but overall we got a gap, which was nice. Game number 2 was a really close game overall. Yeah, I tried to push a bit in the center, got some opportunities late on, but wasn't enough to get a higher score, despite me winning all the target. Then we got game number 3 against Coco. Was very complicated matchup. I felt I played probably my best game of the tournament here, with a solid defensive display early on, and then trying to get the push to get something out of the game rather than stay behind the hill. And was a very interesting game. I obviously lost the secondary, but I felt I was on the right track, or at least the plan on the macro level was solid, so quite happy to get that solid game despite the result, but which was obviously expected. Then game number 4, I got positive matchup, played basically on the primary secondary, which I won, and it stayed very cagey because I didn't need to open the game since I got a win. And then the last one was obviously very frustrating because just lost on primary when we started, and after that it was just standoff and impossible to break through. Sorry. Yeah, let's go through quickly. I think over the character setup, quite happy. Got something out of magic that was decent in range damage, decent in buff, and also got some counter charge option with those 2 mages. Quite happy. The Bastion, obviously it's a 2-in-1, it's a bit risky. But yeah, it's sensitive. It could have died 2 times, should have died 2 times, obviously, against Coco as well. So yeah, it's sensitive to the cannon and the shooting spam, but still a good piece for the price at the time. It has been nerfed since. Then we have the core. Wasn't too happy about the Infernal Warrior Blunderbuss. I think the main reason, if you compare this list with the list that I played at ETC this summer, basically I had 28 of them, which is already +5, changed a lot. And then obviously the loss of Infernal Brand make just that you cannot really commit them as we were doing before because they are at risk against many charge. So I wasn't able to activate them as much as I wanted, to be honest. Obviously the Bastion unit was very solid in the center, can play on the Steadfast, which was at the time of this tournament quite complicated to get in the rules. So I was quite happy about this unit that was very solid in the middle of my line. Incarnate were MVP. They got nerfed since, they got a lot of points more. But yeah, they are really good. Combat power, very solid performance overall. Sometimes hard to really break the standoff, but when they got opportunities, they shine. Anointed, yeah, they didn't fight many combat. It was a flanking piece. Brought me an additional scoring unit, which was needed because I have only 2 in core. But they didn't do that much, they didn't fight that much. Then we have the Vassal Carve, which is I think mandatory in ID list at the moment. And Infernal Engine, yeah, I liked it, to be honest. I liked Infernal Engine list. Together with all my shooting, it formed a very solid center of the map, but at the same time, it didn't perform well. I had some chance to kill the dragon, failed that. I died to bow shots in game number 2, which was very unfortunate. Then I died to cannon game number 3, which was expected. So yeah, kind of hard. Game number 5, I had some opportunities to get something out of the game, to kill Carno, and it didn't work as well. So I'm not sure the rocket battery is the best choice on it, to be honest. And yeah, I think it's still a problem for army that don't have alchemy or a lot of shooting. So it can be really tough to get rid of. But at the same time, it was quite sensitive to multiple things in the game. Primary, I won 3, lost 2. Very logical. I think the 2 are lost. Estimation, yeah, I got some good matchups. And I felt overall, performance-wise, I made a decent tournament. Nothing spectacular, but nothing to be disappointed about. I think the choice that I made in all those games were just made sense. And yeah, I think I made a solid tournament without a crazy good performance, because only 57 points, but still I got what was expected from me basically in those pairings. No surprise here, just a stable result, which I think it's always something to be happy about. And generally speaking, I think I struggled to break the standoff. I felt I'm bringing so much combat power with this list, I should be able to push a bit more, and I wasn't able to do it, which surprised me a little bit. Bastion Blunderbuss were able to push more than the other unit of Blunderbuss in core. Yeah, happy about Magical Scepter setup, and I think something that I missed in the list construction was the Trusted Advisor. At the time that we played, I think it was really worth it for Hidden Agenda and all those secondary. I think it would have been worth it to pay 25 points for that, so it's definitely something I missed. Yeah guys, that's all for this tournament. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will talk to you soon on the channel. Goodbye.